The P.I.N.K. Show. Hey, it's your girl Pinky, P.I.N.K.Y, and I'm so fly. Oh, let's do that again. And I'm so fly. And today, Pink Panthers, is another episode of Mo Movies. Okay, now today's movie we're going to talk about is To All the Boys, P.S. I Love You, okay? This is a sequel of To All the Boys I Loved Before. So, let's get it started, okay? Now, before I start this video, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, okay? So, here we go. Now, I wrote some notes for the second movie into my iPad, so I'm about to open it up. But first, let me tell you guys what was details about the first one. Then we're gonna talk about the second one. So the first one. So first of all, the characters that you have is Lara Jean, Peter Kavinsky, Jen, Kitty, Lara Jean's dad. His name is Dan. Chris, Lucas, Josh, Margot. Did I miss anybody? Trevor. But he really wasn't relevant in the first one. Yeah, I think that's it. So, basically the movie's about Lara Jean Covey. She wrote 5 letters to each of her crush, but the thing is, she didn't send them out. But eventually, her little sister sends the letters out to all the guys that she wrote to. So eventually, they find out. They read the note. They told her about it. Well, Peter did. Josh was going to tell her about it, but she ran before Josh talked to her. So, yeah. So, she didn't know what to do. But then, Peter went to go approach her. Like, what was that about? She told Peter what was it about. Peter was like, oh, I have a good idea. How about we pretend to date so we can make my ex-girlfriend Jen jealous. And you cannot tell Josh about your feelings. Da-da-da-da. So Jen is Peter's ex-girlfriend / Lara Jean's enemy. So, eventually Lara Jean says yes, and they end up falling for each other. Lara Jean doesn't know what to do. And yeah, they end up dating, and it is what it is. Okay? Now, to the second one, okay? Now, the second one is about Lara Jean and Peter. They're dating, but one of the other guys that she sent the letters to, John Ambrose McLaren, he ends up reading the note. He sent her back a note. She's low-key, her feelings for him is coming back again. She doesn't know what to do because she's with Peter. And yeah, and she sees John Ambrose again. And yeah, it's kind of like a love triangle. So here we go. Now, we're going to talk about the second one, okay? First, I'll give the second one, out of 1 to 10, I'll give the second one like a 9. Like the first one, the second one was really, really good. The second one was more intense and more drama than the first one. To me, the first one was like the best movie ever. Like when that movie came out, that became like one of my favorite movies. So the first one would get a 10 from me. The second one would get like a 9. But the second one was still good though. But here we go. So I kind of wrote it like in scenes just in case. So yeah, there's going to be some spoiler alerts. So yeah, we're going to have a deep discussion about this, okay? So the first one, I said, they didn't elaborate how many months, years, weeks, or days they dated. So in the first part of the movie, like I said, her and Peter, they're going on a date. This is like their first date. She said this is her first date. She's never been a girlfriend before. She hopes she's good at it. So, they really didn't establish how many like months, days, weeks they've been dating. So I'm guessing like they kind of carry on from the first one to the second one. Like, oh, this is our first date, I'm guessing. So I don't know, but that was their first date, and then they go to this other setting. She's driving, they're like putting their initials on a hot air balloon, It flows up in the air, and this is when the movie officially starts. Okay. Number two, I've said I love how she doesn't have the fear of driving anymore. I love the hot balloon moment. So in the first one, she had a fear of driving, like she really didn't want to drive. So yeah, but in the second one, she drove more. So yeah, but she said, but in the second one, she said she's good at driving now, but she has a fear of driving in the snow. So keep in mind of that. She has the fear of driving in the snow. So I love how she doesn't have the fear of driving anymore. And like I said, I love the hot air balloon moment. It was romantic. It was cute. I love them together. Okay. Number three, I didn't like how they only showed Margot, her oldest sister, for one scene. And I did not like how they barely mentioned Josh. Now, Josh, like I said, one of her other crushes from the first movie, he wasn't in the second movie, which I don't know why. They didn't mention him. They only mentioned him like one time during their Thanksgiving. I'm going to talk about that. And Margot, her sister, wasn't even in the, like, she only had one scene in the movie. I'm just like, why did she only have one scene in the movie? And why they didn't mention Josh? You know, I low-key wanted Margot and Josh to end up together again, because in the first movie, Laura Jean liked Josh, but her and Josh was like best friends. But then he dated her sister Margot. They dated, but then Margot broke up with Josh because Margot was about to go to college in Scotland, and she didn't want to have a boyfriend in college, but she loved him tremendously, you know. But Laura Jean still low-key had a crush on him and stuff. So yeah, so they was barely in the movie though. But anyway, number four, I love how they show Korean moments. Example, Korean New Year and Thanksgiving. So Laura Jean is half Korean, half white. Her dad is white. Her mom was Korean. Unfortunately, her mother passed away. They kind of said that in the first movie. Now, they didn't say how she died, but they have books about it, and I guess in the book they said she died from a heart attack. So, yeah. But you know, they showed a part where, you know, Laura Jean, her dad, and her sister Kitty, they go to Korean New Year. They're celebrating Korean New Year, I guess, at their mom's relative's house. So that was a beautiful moment. And at that moment, Kitty and Laura Jean, they was telling their cousin that, oh, Laura Jean, she has a boyfriend. And Kitty was telling her the story of how, you know, they dated, how they this, and that, and the third. Because Kitty was like their matchmaker. Because like I said, Kitty is the one that released all her letters out. Okay? Number five, John Ambrose letter opinion. So, after they came home from Korean New Year, John Ambrose sent her a letter in the mail. She reads the letter. Like I said, her feelings is slowly coming back. She doesn't know if she should send the letter or not. She was going to send the letter, but if she would send the letter, she would have messed up her relationship with Peter. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Now, my letter opinion. I love the letter that he wrote to her. He basically is telling her that he had feelings for her in the 6th grade. He didn't know that she has feelings for him in the 6th grade. He didn't know why she sent him the letters. So yeah. It was a cute letter, but I'm not gonna lie, out of Team Peter, Team John, I'm Team Peter. No offense. Yeah, I'm Team Peter. I love Laura Jean and Peter Kavinsky together. They're a cute couple. So yeah, so that was my letter opinion on that. Number 6, the volunteering scene pissed me off because Jen was talking to Laura Jean about the Cardona restaurant. So at the beginning of the movie, like I said, Laura Jean and Peter, they had their first date. He took her to this restaurant called Cardona. So while Laura Jean was signing up for Bellevue to sign up to volunteer, Jen comes up saying, "Oh, I saw that on your story that you and Peter went to Cardona. Peter took me to Cardona on our dates when we was dating. I did it. Just trying to get into Laura Jean's head. And Laura Jean is already overthinking. She's already thinking about, oh my God, Peter was with Jen. I wonder does he still think about Jen? This is that and third. So it pissed me off because I feel like Jen knows that. But she's threatened that Peter shows Laura Jean over Jen. Like, Jen, get over it. He's not with you anymore. Move on. It is what it is. Okay? Number 7. This is one of the moments where Peter was messing up. This is when Peter stood LJ up, Laura Jean up. This is when Peter started messing up. So Peter and Laura Jean, they wanted to volunteer together, but Peter wanted to volunteer at Oakwood with his athletes buddies and Trevor, his best friend. But Laura Jean wanted to sign up for Bellevue, where her older sister Margot used to volunteer at. And she told him that he needs to go and volunteer with his boys. And he said, I'm going to make it up to you. Let's meet up at the coffee shop. So, Laura Jean was waiting for him. Everybody was trying to get that one chair by her. But she said, this is my boyfriend. Back up. He's coming. And yeah, he came. He didn't mean to sit her up. He was having practice. And he made it up for her when they went to the carnival. So yeah. So the next one, carnival date was so cute. Their carnival date was so cute. Oh my gosh, it looked like the best date ever. It was so cute. They were lovey-dovey, kissy face, kissing each other. Like, they're so adorable. Like, I love Laura Jean and Peter together. Like, yes, one of my favorite couples ever. Okay? Number 9, Ryan's in the background. Number 9. Kitty playing matchmaker. So this is the part where they have a neighbor across the street. The daddy is low-key feeling the woman from across the street. She's divorced. Her name is Trina. Kitty is trying to play matchmaker. And Laura Jean is convincing Kitty not to hook them up. When I thought that Laura Jean was actually going to be mad that her daddy was, trying to date other people and move on. Because their dad is still stuck up on their mom, but he's low-key having a crush on the neighbor, Trina. So, yeah, they need Trina. This is and third. So, number 10. This is where Laura Jean is first going to Bellevue. Now, I was kind of slow because I'm not going to lie. I saw this movie like 4 times already. This movie came out on Wednesday and I've already seen the movie 4 times. So, of course, like the first or second time watching it, I didn't know that Bellevue was an old folks home. I'm not going to lie. I thought Bellevue was like something else. And yeah, so Bellevue was an old folks home. Like I said, her sister Margot used to volunteer there before she went off to college. And, this is her first time there. Laura Jean meets this woman named Stormy. Stormy knew her sister Margot when she volunteered that. Stormy is showing her around the home, Bellevue. And yeah, I love Stormy's character. I feel like she was kind of like the wise older person that was telling Laura Jean, what she should do, giving her advice over Peter and John. So I felt like that was a good, I love Stormy. Number 12, she seen John Ambrose for the first time. Now, I'm give y'all some background information. I'm gonna be honest. John Ambrose was supposed to be a white boy. Now, I don't know what happened to the white boy that's supposed to play John Ambrose. I don't know if they fired him. He couldn't do the movie, but yeah. But he's like a black boy. Well, really, John Ambrose is played by Jordan Fisher. Jordan Fisher is black and white in real life. But I guess in the movie, he was supposed to play a black boy, He's still black, but you know what I'm trying to say. So, she sees John Ambrose for the first time. She's nervous. She hit the little candy box. she's going up to him, but then she falls down. She hits her head. He's trying to help her. He's trying to talk to her. She's saying, oh my God, I sent you the letter. She's telling him, I need the letter back. He doesn't want to give her the letter back. So he said he picks her up. He said, I'll give you he said, I tell you what, let's make a deal. I'll give you the letter only if you get the letter right back to me. She says, deal. And yeah, that was the first time seeing John Ambrose in 5 years. Okay. Number 13, Laura Jean didn't answer which letters was more intense. I guess it was John. So it was this part where, she was like the narrator. She's telling us that she felt like she didn't know. She thought having a boyfriend meaning she wasn't going to think about guys anymore. She thought that, her vision was only going to be on Peter, which it was, but John Ambrose, she's kind of getting her old feelings back for him. So John Ambrose, imaginary John Ambrose is talking to her. Imaginary Peter is talking to her. Peter is asking her, out of all your 5 letters, which one was the most intense? Which one was your favorite? So they're kind of talking to her. Now, they asked, which one of us was your favorite? Now, she didn't answer, but the way it looked like John Ambrose was her favorite letter. So, yeah, now she doesn't know what to do because she's crazy about Peter. She loves Peter, but she's thinking about and kind of has a crush on John Ambrose still. So, it is what it is. The next scene, the whole Valentine's Day scene. Another reason that Peter was messing up. So it's Valentine's Day. She got his gift. She got his gift. No, she got her gift for him. Now, they have a little a cappella group where they go around and they sing for the Valentine's Day that the person sent the a cappella group to. So one of the cheerleaders was like, oh my God, Laura Jean, get ready for it. Because Peter, he used to send Jen a cappella a cappella group to her every period. He's going to do it for you. So according to Laura Jean Head, she's listening to the cheerleader. She's like, okay, Peter's going to send an a cappella to sing to me. Well, the a cappella group came to her class, but they didn't sing to her. They sang to Trevor, Peter's best friend. Now, somebody sent the a cappella group to Trevor. So she was kind of bothered because she was so prepared that Peter was going to send her the a cappella group, but he didn't send her the a cappella group. So she was kind of bummed by it. The next scene. Now, the next scene was that she was trying to go to Peter's locker, give him her gift, but then she sees that a lot of girls send Peter letters in his locker. Him and Trevor trying to clean it up. She's kind of bummed because she's like, oh my God, why my boyfriend can't be private? Why can't he be exclusive? Secretive. And her other crush, Lucas. So Lucas was another guy that she sent the letters to, but turns out he's gay. So yeah, after he read the letter, he said it's all good. Her and Lucas became BFFs. Her, Lucas, and Chris started their whole BFF group. And yeah, so the second one, they're still friends. So Lucas like, oh, Laura Jean, it's okay. Don't worry about the other girls that's trying to get at Peter. You're the only one that he loves. And, she's still bummed. This, that, and third. So the next scene is when her and Peter, they're meeting at the track meet, where the field where it all began, when he approached her about the letter. They're standing there. She's giving him something that she baked for him, and she gave him a card. He gave her a necklace, which was so adorable, so cute, and he read her a poem. Now, keep this part in mind when he gave her the poem. I'm going to come back to it, okay? But it was still romantic. Now, the next scene. Was Chris the one that assigned Trevor the acapella group? Now, this is the scene where Chris and Laura Jean, because like I said, Chris is her BFF. And also, Chris is Laura Jean's old best friend slash enemy now. That's her cousin. So Chris and Jen are cousins. But Chris doesn't like Jen either. So Chris and Laura Jean are talking about her and Peter. This is that and the third. But all of a sudden, Trevor is coming through the door, and Chris is kind of telling him, like, dude, you came at the wrong time. This is that and the third. But Laura Jean put two and two together that Chris and Trevor are secretly dating or they're secretly talking, So, yeah. I thought that was cute. Sorry, I need to catch my breath. Now, the next scene. Laura Jean overthinking everything with Peter. Not insecure, just cautious. Now, she's starting to overthink everything with Peter. That was her issue with the whole movie. She was overthinking a lot. First, she was overthinking. She's like, oh my God, I love Peter, but I'm thinking about John Ambrose. Then on the other hand, she's thinking about, Peter Jen was Peter's first everything. So she's like overthinking Jen when it comes to Peter. Does Peter have a crush on Jen? Will he always love her? Does he still have feelings for her? And here's the thing. I feel like with your first love, you're either always going to have feelings for them, or if you don't have feelings for them anymore, they're always going to be in that person's heart. Don't matter how long. Your first is everything. Your first is special, And also, I forgot to tell y'all, at the beginning of the movie, Laura Jean and Peter made a promise to not break each other's heart, which was, in a perfect world, yes, when you love somebody, you're not going to break that person's heart. But ideally, when you're in a relationship, y'all going to break each other's hearts, either if it's intentionally or not. Somebody's heart is going to be broken from time to time. Somebody's going to hurt. Somebody's feelings going to get hurt from time to time. So, yeah. So, Laura G was just overthinking with Peter. Now, I don't think she was being insecure. I just think she was being cautious because, Laura Jean never had a boyfriend before. Peter is her first boyfriend. So she's new to this. She doesn't know if there's rules to being a girlfriend. She doesn't know if, she's being a good girlfriend, to Peter. She's just overthinking a lot. She's thinking about John. Then she's thinking about Jen. It's just a lot. So she's overthinking a lot. She doesn't think that she's good enough for Peter. And girl, you are. Peter loves you. You love Peter. Peter's crazy about you. You crazy about Peter. It's good. Y'all are meant to be. Next scene. Peter made it up scene a beautiful necklace. Like I said, he bought her a necklace. It's beautiful. Yeah. Next scene. The whole poem scam thing. He never said he wrote it. She did. Now this is when, another scene at Bellevue, because like I said, her and John Ambrose are volunteering at Bellevue. John Ambrose bought her the note so she could read what she wrote to him. She read it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it was a cute note. She definitely had feelings for the kid. Yeah, now she read it. She doesn't know what to do because, like I said, she's with Peter, but she's thinking about John. Stormy, Stormy is looking at her. She's like, come talk to me. She reads to know that Laura Jean sent, and Stormy is giving her advice. This is that and the third. Laura Jean's telling Stormy the poem that Peter wrote for her, and Stormy kind of quotes it back to her. Laura Jean's confused. She's like, how do you know the note? Stormy says, well, hate to break it to you, but Peter didn't write the note for you. It's a poem written by Edgar Allan Poe. And if you don't know who Edgar Allan Poe is, he's an old poet. So, yeah. So she's like, oh my God, he didn't write the dang poem for me. This is that. Which I really felt like, in a way, she kind of made a bigger deal than what it was. Because here's the thing. Yeah, he didn't write the note for you. But in a way, it's the thought that counts. At least he still thought enough about you to, give you the poem. And he made it differently, instead of saying beautiful Annabelle Lee, he said beautiful Laura Jean. He add original thought to it. So I just feel like it was a thought that counts. I didn't think she really need to make a big deal out of it, but hey, it is what it is. Next scene. Chris and Trevor's secret is coming out. A lot of people, it's like, oh, this and that. They make a cute couple. But I don't know if they were dating. I think they were just talking and flirting. So, yeah. I did not like Chris' makeup. I did not. I did not like the eyeshadow. I did not like her makeup. Whoever did her makeup, why did it look like that? She looked terrible. I did not like her eyeshadow, boo. No. Moving on. Breaking heart thing. Okay, Lucas moment. Second thoughts. Now, this is the scene where they're at the party. Laura Jean ends up talking to Lucas. Like I said, Lucas is her old crush, but he's gay and they're BFFs now. So, I like Lucas. I love all the characters. I don't like Jen, but if it wasn't for her, she wouldn't be like the villain of the. You always need a villain in a movie, so she was a villain. But Laura Jean is telling Lucas about everything about John Ambrose, this is that and the third. Lucas is telling Laura Jean that, hey, at least you got options. He doesn't have options. He's gay. He can't find another guy to like him, this is that and the third. She's saying, don't worry, Lucas. It's all going to be okay. Sooner or later, we're going to be out of high school. You're going to have a lot of guys that are going to ask you out and want to date you. And he said, how you so sure? Because she said, hey, because before I knew you was gay, I used to want to get at you. I used to want to be like, be my boyfriend. Be mine. It's like, me and you are good fits. Be mine. Da-da-da-da-da. But then, he was flattered and this and that and third. And Peter could kind of tell that she was kind of looking down, that she was, in a maze, that she was quiet. He texted her saying, baby, do you want to get out? Like, let's go, let's leave. And then they leave and this is that and third. Now, Laura Jean and Peter car scene. This was so embarrassing, okay? Now, oh my God, like I said, y'all have to see this movie. I highly recommend. But when y'all see this part, y'all probably going to agree with me, okay? But this is what happened. So Peter took Laura Jean home. Laura Jean is approaching him about the dang poem. He said he's so sorry. He didn't write it. He didn't tell her he wrote it. Technically, she did. He's like, please don't be mad at me. She's not mad. And they started kissing, tongue kiss, a little action, a little giddy, go, da 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 da, they get into it, He's kind of doing a little, like I said, I'm not going to expose everything. But this what pissed me off. Imaginary Jen was in the car with them, like Imaginary Jen. She's like, ooh, I had you. Basically saying she had her man first. Peter is good in bed. This, that, and the third. Laura, she's like, oh my God, Peter is so good at this. He's kissing me. He's really good kisser. How come he's so good with this? And Jenna's just getting in her head. And Laura Jean gonna say, I don't want to have sex with you right now. Laura Jean. First of all, I didn't think Oh, and like I said, Laura Jean, Peter is her first boyfriend, so clearly she's a virgin, and there's nothing wrong with being a virgin, okay? But my thing was, Laura Jean, she just killed. She was just like, oh my god, she was just like, I don't have sex right now. So Peter was like, whoa, Cubby, like he calls her Cubby, like whoa, Cubby. I wasn't going to have sex with you right now. This is that and the third. And he said, even if we did, I'm not going to do it in front of your house. And he's not rushing her. So he's asking her, do you think I'm rushing you? Like, what is going on? Talk to me. Like, what's going on in your head? And she's just telling him, about him and Jen, and she's not ready for a sexual relationship right now. This is that and third. And it was embarrassing. And I was mad because Jen was getting her head. Like I said, Laura G was overthinking the entire movie. And it kept on pissing me off. Because, like, girl, don't worry about Jen. Don't worry about John Ambrose. Be with Pete. Like, be in the moment with Peter. You love him. He loves you. Like, you're good. It is what it is. So that scene really pissed me off. And like I also said, Jen and John A is getting her head. And then they had a sex talk, moving on. The bingo scene. So this is another scene where John and Laura Jean, they're volunteering at Bellevue. They're playing bingo. They're talking about the whole letter. He wants his letter back. She's saying, no, it's too embarrassing. He's saying that he doesn't understand how it's embarrassing. She's saying because she used to like him, this is that and the third. She said, telling him that all the girls used to like you. She would go to sleepovers. They would ask which team you are, Team Peter or Team John. Because John Ambrose knows Peter. He knows the game because they used to all go to middle school and elementary school together. And John Ambrose and Peter used to be friends. So, yeah. So John Ambrose was like, no, girls really didn't like me in middle school. They will only say they liked me because they would want to get closer to Peter. He said, like, this girl named Sabrina Fox, she asked him to go to the 6th grade graduation dance with him, but she was really all over Peter the whole night. When it was like a slow dancing part, they would all dance in the group. So he's basically telling Laura Jean, nobody used to like me like that. They all liked me to get close to Peter. So, she really didn't get it. She really didn't understand that because she thought it was too good to be true. Because she liked John, but she felt like all the girls liked John too. That's the thing with Laura Jean. She worried about other people. Worry about yourself, boo. Worry about yourself. So, yeah. So, LJ almost told John A. about her and Peter, but she really didn't get a chance to. She's giving him the role. She's giving him the dish. Like, oh, yeah, Peter and Jen are not together. Me and Jen are not friends anymore. She's about to tell John A., but yes, she doesn't. So then Laura Jean is thinking, what if moment, like when if her and John was together, this is that third. So Laura Jean, just when she's about to tell John Ambrose about her and Peter, she said, oh, you remember the street house? Because her and John Ambrose, when they were younger, they used to always go to the tree house, hang out and read books and stuff. She said, oh yeah, the tree house is going to be teared down. And he's like, why? Because she said, because the neighbors are moving, the new neighbors are coming in, they don't have a child, so yeah. So he's basically saying, he's saying, oh, you remember the time capsule? And she was like, yeah. So he was like, so they was like, when did we go to the house, to the tree house, and read the time capsule? Now, they were the only people that was doing the time capsule. It was them, Peter, Jen, Chris, Trevor, and I think that was it. I think that was all of them. So, yeah. So they was like, okay, we should go to the time capsule and invite everybody else that was involved with it. So, yeah. So Laura Jean is telling Peter about the time capsule, and she's telling him about John A. Now, she's basically saying that, oh, go do the time capsule? So Peter's like, oh, like me and you? She's like, no, everybody else was involved. And he's like, oh, even Jen? She's like, no, do not invite Jen. And then that's when she's telling Peter, like, oh, and John A. is coming too. And he's like, what? What do you mean? So she's telling John A. like, oh, he's volunteering with me at Bellevue. He, she didn't, he sent me, because she told him prior to that he sent her a letter and she was going to send it back, but she didn't know if she was going to do it or not, but she said she probably will. But then she's telling Peter, like, no, she didn't send the letter to him, but he's volunteering at Bellevue with him. With her. So he's thinking, oh, so did you invite him to volunteer with you? And she's like, no, like I didn't invite him. This is and the third. And by the way, John Ambrose, he moved away. So he's going to another school, but they all go to the same school still. So yeah. So Peter's like, yeah, let's do it. So the next scene is the time capsule scene, okay? So Laura Jean is making the cupcakes that John Ambrose used to like. Because he said, okay, we're going to do this time capsule thing. You need to make those cupcakes that you used to make. So she's like, okay. And John Ambrose says, yeah, and I'm going to bring the pizza. So this is the time capsule scene. So Laura Jean is there first. John Ambrose is there. Peter is there. So they're like, oh my God, hi, nice to see you again. And she's like, oh shoot, this is probably a bad idea. So then John Ambrose like, yeah, because me and LJ, we made this whole thing up. So Peter's like, he's like, what? So then Trevor comes in, then Jen, she's like, I didn't get my invitation. Excuse me. She was like, oh, I didn't get my invitation. So then Laura Jean's rolling her eyes. Then Chris comes. And then John was like, oh, look, Jen and Peter like old times. So they're looking like, wait, what? So then Peter's looking at Laura Jean because he's knowing that you didn't tell John Ambrose about us. So, so Chris came, they're digging up the time capsule. They're in the treehouse. They're all laughing and having fun. And they're revealing what they put in the time capsule. So it's awkward because you have John there, Laura Jean there, Peter there, and Jen there. So while they're revealing what they put in the time capsule, Peter is asking Laura Jean, he's like, why you didn't ask me to bring the pizza? So she didn't answer. So Jen is like, so when Peter revealed his stuff, she's like, oh yeah, you remember that time where, you came to the baseball park and then you kissed me in front of your mom? So Laura Jean was like, really? So then John Ambrose reviewed what he put, and Jen was like, yeah, you remember that you tried to get this old shirt so you can impress John? So she's like, no, I don't remember that. So then he's like, if you did, it was so cute. Oh, and also when Jen was saying, you remember you kissed me, Peter was like, no, I don't remember that. So it was just too much. So then everybody else revealed, what they have. So Peter was like, oh, John, you remember you used to stutter? So everybody was like this. Oh, shoot. Like, here we go. So it was just awkward. So everybody else left. So John Ambrose was like, okay, Laura Jean, I will help you clean up. So Peter was like, no, I can help. And John was like, no, it's okay, dude. And Peter was like, no, it's okay. I can help my girlfriend out. So when that happened, I was like, oh, shoot. So John Ambrose was embarrassed because he didn't know that they were dating. So he's like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. He was like, I'll see you tomorrow, LJ. So that was embarrassing. So Peter and Laura Jean, they having their argument. Yeah, they're having their argument about John A. and Jen. Laura Jean is saying, how come Jen knew about the time capsule thing? He said he doesn't know. He mentioned it, and she's like, really? Why did you mention it? And then Peter is saying, oh, because and then he was arguing that she was flirting with John A. How come? she didn't tell him about their relationship, so they were just arguing. So Laura Jean was like, do you want to break up? And Peter was like, no. So it was just too much. Y'all can go watch a movie about their whole argument. It was too much. So then the next scene is Laura Jean is facing John A. And John A says it's okay, it is what it is. But John A is explaining to Laura Jean the meaning of his name. So his name is John Ambrose McLaren. So Ambrose is his middle name. But before he met Laura Jean, before he met Laura Jean, everybody just called him John. But then Laura Jean, when he met Laura Jean, she called him John Ambrose because she thought it was cool that they had something in common, because everybody calls her Laura Jean, like her first and her middle name together. And she thought everybody called him John Ambrose, but he was saying, no, everybody called me John Ambrose because of you. And he said he told people to call him John Ambrose because she gave him the name. So, it was romantic, this, that. So then the next scene, Dad and his crush Trina. Laura Jean sees Laura Jean and her dad sees Trina at the store. The daddy is starting to catch feelings. I thought the video stopped. I was like, oh my God, I gotta talk about this again, but it didn't. But anyway, so the dad is seeing Trina, he's going over to talk to her. And Laura Jean's like, oh my God, my dad's flirting. I've never seen him with a crush before. Because he hasn't dated in years. Because like I said, her mom died. So, he was still hung up on their mom. So, yeah, so Laura Jean and the dad is telling Trina about Thanksgiving, and that she should come over, this is that and the third. So they invited her, this what it is. So Laura Jean is going to snitch to Trina that, the Valentine's Day that you thought my dad gave you, actually it was Kitty that sent you the Valentine's Day. So Trina was like, what? You don't say. Trina knew that Kitty was the one that sent it. She was being sarcastic to Laura Jean. But Laura Jean, why did you snitch to Trina about, like, why did you do that? Because y'all know how I feel about snitches. Don't snitch, okay? Whew. Sorry, y'all. I feel like I'm keep on losing my breath. Oh, my God. Whew. Whew. Anyway, so this is the part where they're doing Thanksgiving. So they're telling the history over Thanksgiving, how like the dad, he got invited to Thanksgiving with their mom, and the mom, so the mom, talk about, so they're explaining to Peter and Trina, because they're special guests at their house. They're talking about Thanksgiving. They're telling the story about things. Actually, y'all can watch the movie to know the history about Thanksgiving, but it has something to do with their mom. And they're telling, the Thanksgiving story, the green bean story, and that the newbies has to eat beans, because, the mom gave the dad the green bean, gave them the beans. Margot gave Josh the beans. So now Peter and Trina has to eat the beans. So y'all need to watch a movie about the whole Thanksgiving scene. But I liked, again, how they dedicated to their mom, and they're still celebrating their mom's life and what she used to do. LJ looking cute for Peter, but they argued and some secrets came out. So during their first argument, when they was arguing about Jen and John Ambrose, Laura Jean was like, oh, Jen used to dress up for your games. Do you want me to dress up for your games? And he said, all the girlfriends used to do that, but if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. And this is at the third. And then also in that argument, she approached him about the whole acapella Valentine's thing. But like I said, y'all need to go and watch the movie to see that argument. But this is the scene where Lara Jean, she dresses up for Peter, trying to make it up to him. But then Chris is telling Lara Jean that, oh, I just saw Jen and Peter together and they was looking all lovey-dovey, touching, feeling and all that. So Jen is showing the receipts, the picture that Jen and Peter are close, they're touching each other, this is that and third. So Lara Jean sees Peter and she's about to approach him. So they having another argument, and this is when secrets have came out. But like I said, so yeah, y'all need to watch the first movie about what that secret was. But I'm gonna let you know just in case some of y'all not gonna see it. But basically, in the first movie, when they was pretending to date, it's a scene where they went on the couples trip. And yeah, this is the scene where they went on the couples trip. And it's a part where Lara Jean, she was going to meet Peter she's going to meet Peter at the jacuzzi. But, yeah, she's going to meet Peter at the jacuzzi. Peter was at the jacuzzi by himself. So, this is that and third. And then they had their whole little kissing scene. And then Jen gonna record them in the hot tub, made it seem like they were having sex in the hot tub, but really they were just making out in the hot tub. So they made it seem like they had a sex tape, but they didn't have a sex tape, they just made out in the jacuzzi. Okay, so before she confronted him about that, he slipped up and said, I told Jen if she ever records you and send out a tape again, then if she ever hurts you again, then I was going to be done with her. So she was like, what do you mean? So she was like, so you did know that Jen recorded us, this is that, and you did know that she sent the tape out. So, because the whole time she was asking him, he was denying that, no, he doesn't know if she did it or not. But he did know that Jen was the one that sent out the videotape. Then also, what's another thing? The tape. Oh, then it was another thing that, dang, Ryan, what was another?
They broke up. John and Lara Jean, they kissed.
No, I'm talking about the part when Lara Jean and John, Lara Jean and Peter, they was arguing. Cause you remember they was talking. Cause you remember how Peter told Lara Jean that he knew Jen sent the sex tape. What did he say before that? Oh, that. Because Peter was like, when it came to the actual choice, I chose you. And she's like, actual choice? What do you mean there's an actual choice? So they was arguing about that. They was arguing about how, Jen sent out the tape and he knew about it. And they argued about how Peter was waiting up for Jen at the jacuzzi, but Lara Jean, came before Jen came, and she's like, so that's how Jen knew what to record. Like, that's how Jen knew that we was at this jacuzzi. And she says, so if Jen was at the jacuzzi, me and you would have never got together, and y'all would have been back together. So, yeah. So then Lara Jean was like, yeah, maybe that. So Lara Jean was like, well, maybe that's how it should be then. And Peter's like, no, we promise we're not going to break each other's hearts. And they broke up. So that was depressing. I was emotional. That was too much. Like, y'all need to go and watch the whole argument, but that was too much. What's the next scene? Oh, Chris tells LJ about Jen, yeah. And I was also mad because the whole movie, they never mentioned the whole scrunchie thing. The first one, Lara Jean used to always wear her hair up in a ponytail, and she will always wear her favorite scrunchie when she wrapped her ponytail up. But it was this one scene on the first movie. Her and Peter, they went to this party pretending that they were a couple. Jen approached Peter in the restroom. Jen was like, "Oh, cute scrunchie," and then Peter was like, "Give me back the scrunchie." Jen took the scrunchie away from Peter. Then the next scene, after the whole jacuzzi scene, and Laura Jean and Peter were kissing and stuff. Then Jen was basically letting Laura Jean that, "Ha ha, I have your scrunchie," but she didn't tell Laura Jean how she got her scrunchie. But in the second one, they never mentioned the goddamn scrunchie. So disappointed in that. But anyway, so yeah. Um, so yeah, they broke up, and they also didn't mention how Laura Jean, I guess she didn't have to take Kitty to school anymore, because in the first movie she would have to take Kitty to school, but she had a fear of driving. So then when her and Peter were fake dating, they had a contract, and one of the things on the contract was that Peter had to take her and Kitty to school. So yeah. But anyway, the whole necklace thing, the necklace scene. So Laura Jean, is depressed that her and Peter broke up. She goes back to school the next day. They're on their aquarium field trip. So they're at the aquarium. Laura Jean and Peter are watching it. They're looking at each other. Laura Jean, walks to this fish tank. Peter follows her. They're just looking at each other, and he looks at her holding their necklace, holding the necklace that he gave her. She's like, "Oh, do you want the necklace back?" Tell me, this is what Peter said. He said yes. Why in the heck did you tell her yes, and you know darn well you didn't want her to give you back the goddamn necklace? Then Laura Jean, don't ever give somebody back something that they bought you. Laura Jean, if that was me, I would have never asked him, "Do you want the necklace back?" Knowing goddamn well he gave that necklace to me. I don't care if we're broken up or not. I'm keeping this forever. I don't give a care. I'm keeping this forever. Then he know darn well he's heartbroken too. You can tell he's been crying and stuff, and he gonna say yes. So then, she's trying to give him back the necklace. She turns around and he unlocks the necklace to her. Then he looking at her, then leaves. What the heck? This was another thing that pissed me off. Because I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Y'all could have just talked, and maybe I would have gotten back together. No. So that scene pissed me off. Watch a movie and watch a whole dang scene. It's going to piss y'all off too. Anyway, then Laura Jean, she was depressed. Then she takes somebody to meet her at the tree house. But Lord and behold, it was Jen. She's telling Jen everything. She's saying part of the reason why me and Peter she's like, "Well, I'm sure that you heard that me and Peter broke up." Jen said yes, she heard about it. She's saying part of the reason that me and Peter broke up because I felt like that he still had feelings for you, and I couldn't get that out of my head. And Jen is saying that Peter is crazy about you. He even told that to me. This is that the third. Like, Peter loves you. He doesn't love me anymore. And the reason why that she invited Peter to her house because her parents are splitting up, and she knows that Peter's parents split up. So she just needed a friend to talk to. She needed a shoulder to cry on. And Laura Jean basically said that she couldn't get over her and Jen friendship, and she put the friendship bracelet in the time capsule. And then Jen revealed that, yeah, I put our friendship bracelet in the time capsule too. This is and the third. So it was a really sweet makeup moment between them. I don't know if they're going to be friends again, or now they're going to be cordial, or now they're going to be frenemies. I don't know. But it's good that they made up and it's no bad blood between them. Okay? Moving on. Then after Laura Jean comes back home from the treehouse, she sees her dad and Trina holding hands. So I guess they're together now or dating, I guess. And yeah. Now this is a scene where Laura Jean is getting ready for the ball because her and John Ambrose had an idea that the Bellevue they should throw a star ball dance party and like a throwback dance party. So this is when Stormy invites Laura Jean to see her get ready. Stormy gave Laura Jean a dress. Laura Jean is wearing the dress. She's helping her with her makeup. She's looking cute, and this is at third. Now, just because her and Peter broke up, that doesn't mean that she still don't have John Ambrose on her mind.